What if I told you your brain is lying to you? Yes, that feeling when someone doesn't reply, when they don't look at you, when you think you're being ignored. It may not be real. Warning, this is not just in your thoughts. This is your nerves, your chemistry, your biology working against you. Every day, people destroy their confidence, damage relationships, and create distance because they believe a feeling that is not based on reality. Why does your heart suddenly feel heavy? Why does your energy drop? Why does your mind replay the moment again and again? Is it rejection? Or is it something deeper? Something hidden inside your brain? Today, we uncover the secret. Your brain is designed to react quickly, not perfectly. It scans your environment for any sign of risk and tries to protect you before you even have time to think. That can be useful in real danger, but in everyday situations it often leads to false alarms that feel very real. When someone does not respond or seems distant, your mind tries to fill in the gap. It does not like uncertainty, so it creates a story to explain what is happening. Most of the time, that story leans negative because your brain is wired to notice problems more than neutral events. This is where things get tricky. The feeling shows up first, and then your thoughts build around it. Your heart may beat faster, your body may tense, and your energy can drop. These physical signals make the thought feel even more convincing, even if there is no real evidence behind it. What you are experiencing is not a fact, it is a reaction. Your nerves are responding to a perceived situation, not necessarily a real one. The brain treats the possibility of being ignored as something important, even when it might simply be a delay, distraction, or something unrelated to you. Learning to separate feeling from fact is a powerful shift. Instead of accepting the first thought, you pause and look at what you actually know. You give your brain time to settle instead of letting it take control. This creates space for a more balanced and realistic interpretation of the situation. Over time, this awareness changes how you respond. You start to notice patterns in your thinking and understand when your brain is jumping to conclusions. That clarity helps you stay more grounded, even when your initial reaction tries to pull you in a different direction. You cannot control how other people behave, and trying to do that usually leads to frustration. What you can control is how your brain and your nerves respond in the moment. That shift alone changes everything, because your reaction is what shapes your experience, not the situation itself. When something feels off, your body reacts almost instantly. Your heart rate rises, your breathing changes, and your energy becomes unstable. This happens before logic steps in, which is why your first reaction often feels so strong. If you act in that moment, you are reacting to a signal, not to reality. Taking control starts with awareness. You notice the reaction instead of getting pulled into it. A simple pause gives your system time to settle. Your breathing slows, your body relaxes, and your mind becomes clearer. This small gap between feeling and response is where real control begins. From there, you can choose how to respond instead of reacting automatically. You can keep your tone steady, maintain eye contact, and stay present. These small actions signal calmness, both to yourself and to others. Your nerves start to regulate, and your system moves out of that alert state. Over time, this becomes a habit. You train your body to stay balanced even when situations are uncertain. Instead of chasing explanations or reacting to every small change, you remain grounded. That consistency in your response builds a stronger sense of control and makes your presence feel more stable in any interaction. Not every thought that crosses your mind deserves your trust. Your brain is constantly generating interpretations, especially when something feels unclear or incomplete. It tries to make sense of situations quickly, but speed often comes at the cost of accuracy. When there is a lack of information, your mind fills the gap with assumptions. These assumptions often lean negative because your brain is wired to detect possible threats. It would rather be wrong and cautious than miss something important, even if that threat is just a social situation. This becomes more noticeable when your body is already under stress. Your nerves become more sensitive, your energy drops, and your reactions feel stronger than usual. In that state, even a small delay in a reply or a neutral expression can trigger a chain of negative thoughts. The problem is not the thought itself, but how quickly you accept it as truth. Once you believe it, your body responds as if it is real. Your heart rate may increase, your focus narrows, and your mood shifts. All of this happens without you questioning whether the thought is actually valid. A better approach is to slow things down and examine what you are thinking. Ask yourself what evidence you actually have, and whether there could be other explanations. This simple step creates distance between you and the thought, making it easier to see it for what it is. With practice, you start to notice patterns in your thinking. You recognize when your mind is jumping to conclusions and when it is reacting to uncertainty. This awareness helps you stay more balanced and prevents your thoughts from controlling how you feel and act in everyday situations. Your mental state is closely linked to what is happening inside your body. When your sugar levels are unstable, your brain does not process information in a steady way. You may feel sudden drops in energy, difficulty focusing, and a stronger emotional response to small situations. These shifts are often tied to how your body manages insulin. When your intake of processed food is high, your insulin levels spike and then fall quickly. This creates a cycle where your energy rises and crashes, making it harder for your mind to stay balanced and consistent throughout the day. At the same time, increased inflammation in the body can affect how your brain functions. It can make your system more reactive and less efficient at handling stress. You may notice that your thoughts become more negative or that you feel overwhelmed more easily, even in situations that are not serious. Your circulation also plays a key role. When your blood flow is steady, your brain receives enough oxygen to function clearly. This supports better decision-making, emotional control, and overall awareness. Poor circulation, on the other hand, can leave you feeling sluggish and mentally unfocused. Simple habits can help bring this system back into balance. Eating more natural food, staying hydrated, and moving your body regularly all support better internal stability. When your muscles are active, circulation improves, and your energy becomes more consistent. Sleep is just as important in this process. It allows your cells to repair and your brain to reset after a long day. Without proper rest, your system stays in a strained state, which affects both your physical and mental performance in subtle but noticeable ways. When you focus on what is real, you give your brain a stable ground to work with. Instead of reacting to assumptions, you pay attention to what actually happened. This might be a delayed reply, a short response, or a moment of silence. These are facts, not conclusions, and they often mean less than your mind tries to suggest. Your brain tends to fill empty space with meaning. If something is unclear, it builds a story to explain it. Most of the time, that story leans negative because your system is trying to protect you. The challenge is that these assumptions can feel just as strong as reality, even when they are not supported by evidence. When you slow down and look at the situation carefully, you start to see other possibilities. The other person might be busy, distracted, or focused on something else. Their behavior may have nothing to do with you. This shift in perspective helps reduce unnecessary stress and keeps your energy from dropping. Staying grounded also helps regulate your physical state. Your heart remains steady, your nerves stay calm, and your breathing becomes more controlled. This allows your body to maintain proper circulation and deliver enough oxygen to your brain, which supports clearer thinking and better emotional balance. This approach is not about ignoring your feelings. It is about understanding where they come from and not letting them take over. When you separate facts from assumptions, You give yourself more control over how you respond and how you interpret situations. Over time, this becomes a habit. You rely less on quick judgments and more on clear observation. That shift helps you stay consistent in how you think and act, even when situations are uncertain or open to interpretation.